What do you think about the number of entrepreneurs and the questions that you got today here in Atlanta?
Well, a lot of people came out, which is always great. I love seeing packed houses of people wanting knowledge on how to become an entrepreneur. I think that many of the questions were original questions that I've never heard before, which is great. That means that people were retaining what I was saying, as well as coming up with things that were challenging to me, which is definitely a reward. So, I mean, I think it was a win-win, and I had a great time. The crowd's energy was great. Everything was great.
Why do you think it's important for you to come and speak to these college students?
Well, I think that it's important because I'm a product of listening to a lot of people who've made it. And I think that, when you look at the case studies that the kids follow, it doesn't a lot of times give you the reality of the challenges and the failures. And more importantly, when people listen to me speak, they have to learn from my failures way more than anything else. And when I go out there and I tell them that, I think it resonates with them, because a lot of people, they're very hard on themselves and they go, oh, it didn't work, or I'm sure this person didn't have to do with that. I'm still failing today in many things I do. And if that can resonate with them, then they're one step closer. And speaking at colleges it's a blessing, because most entrepreneurs don't have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur or a student, excuse me. So if they can educate themselves and then also have that real life experience that I can share with them, they have a great chance of becoming successful.
What do you think about the opportunity for these young entrepreneurs here in Atlanta?
Well, I think that Atlanta has always been a city of entrepreneurs and a lot of intrapreneurs as well. I think that now I'm starting to see, especially in Atlanta and certain other areas, Houston and Chicago, I'm starting to see people that have traditionally been at large corporations, making following somebody else's dream, and now they've learned that there's no security in life, and instead of being entrepreneurs, they want to be entrepreneurs. So Atlanta is just a robust place, and I really love it, and it's always inspiring. So the entrepreneur community is big here.
What do you think about this explosion of people that are trying to develop these young companies, these young startups? It seems like in the past 10 years you've got Facebook, Twitter, all these apps too, and people are trying to be their own boss.
Yeah.
What do you think about that movement?
Well, as I had said when I was on stage, I think that entrepreneurship and people becoming their own boss is the future of our country. And I pointed out that the Kaufman Foundation did a study and showed that from 1980 to 2005, 40 million jobs were created with companies 5 years and younger, which was basically 98% of all the jobs created in the United States. And I think, as I was saying earlier, you were somebody who worked your way up to a company and you spent 10, 20 years there, and all of a sudden you turned around and you got fired and the company doesn't exist and nothing's happening. So people are starting to say, let me take that skill set that I know, that I've been educated and I've been trained in, and let me utilize it for myself now. And I think with technology is fast moving, it's very rewarding. I think that anybody and everybody can get into it fairly simple. So I think that with the surgence of unemployment and lack of revenue is going to create a lot of jobs.
And lastly, are you personally invested in any companies here in Atlanta?
Yes, I am personally invested in companies in Atlanta, 1 or 2, but I'm under NDA to not be able to say it.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add just about being here in general?
No, I had a great time, and I hope to get a lot of questions, and people can always send their questions to my Facebook, The Shark Daymond, or to my Twitter, The Shark Daymond. I try to answer everybody, and hopefully the new, more successful Daymond John will just sitting in that audience, and a couple of years from now they're gonna be rewarding other people with their story and making a change.